It's Saturday, April 6th, 2024, about 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm Todd Dunn, and today I'm making a trek into the big city. Yes, I'm going to Southwest Harbor. Now, why am I going there? Well, I got to go to the grocery store to pick up some stuff. And basically what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go in and buy a bunch of juice, apple juice, orange juice, tomato juice, etc., because I'm having oral surgery Monday, right back on my molars in the back, and I'm not going to be able to chew anything for a couple of days. So I'm going to be on a liquid diet. It's probably good, probably allow me to drop a few pounds, but that's why I'm going to town today, pick that stuff up, so that I have something other than water to drink. I do have some milk as well, but so that's going to be my diet starting after lunch on Monday, and probably going for 2 or 3 days after that, until my gums and everything recover to the point that I can safely eat solid food without risking damaging where they're going to be cutting into my mouth tissues. Boy, oh boy, I am not looking forward to this. I have never had any kind of oral surgery before, and so we'll just have to see how it goes. This is all a precursor to a rather elaborate crown replacement, where my old crown failed, and the dentist said, well, we can pull the tooth and you can go about getting an implant, or we can do this little bit of oral surgery to make room to put a new crown on, but we have to lower your gum line to do that. So, not looking forward to it, but hopefully it won't be too horrible. The dentist I have is pretty good, and we'll see. So I'm going to take you with me on this expedition into Southwest Harbor to the grocery store, and I'll probably stop off a couple of other places. It's still drizzling a little bit, hasn't really stopped since the big storm, so that's gonna impact what we see as we drive over. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and get on my way. All right, here we go. We're underway. I can take that down, and we're gonna head over to Southwest Harbor. Normally there are two routes that I can take to Southwest Harbor. One is the inland route, which is what we're going to be doing today, and the other is the shore route, which goes across the seawall. But unfortunately that road has been closed for about a month now, and because of damage from the last storm. So, we can't go that way, but we might go out there from the Southwest Harbor side to see just what happened during this last storm, if anything. I walked partway over there, but it was just too cold out on the water to walk all the way yesterday. So we're coming out to the secondary road here off the private road. I think I can turn that off, and we're gonna head up here, and it looks like no one has repaired this tree yet, has cut it up. It's still hanging over the road. Hopefully that'll happen Monday. This road maintenance like that is pretty much the responsibility of the town. The power company, all they do nowadays, especially when they have a lot of outages, is just they cut whatever they absolutely have to get the power back on. Okay, if I went right here, I would head over to the seawall, but as I said, the road is closed, so no point in going that way. You can't get through. And this will take us into Bass Harbor proper, the metropolitan part of Bass Harbor, and along the east side of the harbor, and then we will cut inland over to Southwest Harbor. And I think one of the things I'm going to do is stop at the Great Harbor Marina, depending on the state of the tide, just to see if we can see what that schooner looks like. I was over there a few days ago, and it has deteriorated significantly. The port side of the schooner has gotten stove in, and it looked like the boat has broken in half. Although the two halves are not physically separated, but they're definitely not lying at the same angle anymore. So we'll see. If the tide is high, it'll be underwater, so we won't be able to see it. And I didn't check what the tide was today. But we'll find out here in just a second when we go by Bass Harbor, which we're going to come to our closest approach to the water here in about 10 seconds. And the tide is out, at least partway out, so we will be able to see the schooner. So I'll pull down there and have a look. As you can see, the storm was raging 48 hours ago. But now virtually all the snow is gone. It was a very short-lived snowstorm. We're just getting enough moisture spitting to keep the windows a little damp. Now, this route goes through a little bit of Acadia National Park, and there's considerably more of Acadia National Park on either side of the road. The spot it goes through the park is where the road goes across the edge of the Bass Harbor salt marsh. And that's just up here about another, half mile. And this part of the island has a lot of Acadia National Park land on it that's undeveloped. There are very, very few trails and that sort of thing here. And except for the campground at Seawall and the picnic area there, and the Ship Harbor and Wonderland nature trails, the only other developed thing that I'm aware of is the Pretty Marsh picnic area up on the sort of northwest part of the island. Okay, this is where we're crossing the Bass Harbor salt marsh, and it's really high. We've had a fair amount of rain lately, and it has drained off to flood the salt marsh. It does go up and down a bit with the tide, but it lags quite a bit behind the tide because the drainage in and out of it is quite small. Anyway, we're just going to head over here. We are now in the town of Southwest Harbor. And we're passing the first Southwest Harbor gas station. There are two. This is Gott's store. There seems to be a trend going on right now. A lot of local businesses are up for sale. Gott's store is up for sale. And we're going to pass the auto repair place up here in Southwest Harbor, Skip's Garage. It's also up for sale. And in Southwest Harbor proper, Sawyer's Market is up for sale. And, you know, businesses seem to be up for sale right now. I think there are a couple reasons for that. One is that the people who own the businesses are ready to retire, and they don't have family that want to carry them on. And the other is, it's very difficult to run a business that depends on getting people to work in it around here, because the cost of housing here is so high that if you're a mechanic or just a clerk at a grocery store, you can't afford to live here unless you know, your family's been here for a long time and you have family property that you can live on. But you know, this is Skip's Garage. You can see the for sale sign there. There's a possibility that the town of Southwest Harbor will buy that and turn it into their town maintenance facility. Okay, here we come. All last summer they were working on the road up here, and I thought they had finished all but the paving, but obviously that is not the case, because they have had the road pretty torn up here over the last couple weeks since they started working again. They've dug a number of trenches across the road to put pipes and stuff in. And here we go. This is where they've been stopping people. And we'll cruise through. He'll probably flip his sign around. Yes, he did, right after me, because there was nobody behind me. Okay, we'll keep going here. And see what's going on. All right, I'm gonna drop down to the marina and we'll take a look at that schooner that wrecked here just before Christmas of 2022. See how it fared through the storm. I'll come back when I get out of the car. Well, I'm out on the dock at the marina, and there's the schooner. You can see a big gap in the side on the upper part of the hull. For those of you who haven't been following my channel, we had a big storm on Christmas Eve, December 2022, and this schooner came off its mooring out toward the entrance to the harbor and fetched up on the rocks here. And unfortunately, the fellow who owned it died a couple weeks later, and he didn't apparently have any insurance, and the boat has been there ever since. So it's closing in on 16 months it's been sitting there. I'm going to walk out on the dock and show you what it looks like where we can see the other side. Well, here is the Great Harbor Marina in Southwest Harbor today, April 6th. There's a loon right over there. And the marina's actually thinned out. There were a lot more boats here until about a month ago. The four-masted schooner, Margaret Todd, was here, and it disappeared. I think it's hauled out for work to get it ready for the season. So it'll probably turn up again in a little while. Depends on when they get it back in the water and are ready to take it over to Bar Harbor to take passengers out. Okay, we'll just walk out here a little further so we can see the port side of this schooner. And wind is out of the north today, and it's a little chilly. And these barges here are fairly common. These are old landing craft. This one, the Beacon, has been here hauling vehicles to and from the islands and also hauling lots of other things for quite a while. Get over these mooring lines. Okay. Well, there's the schooner, and you can see a good deal of the port side of the hull is gone, and the boat is definitely broken in half. It has broken up even more since just before the last storm. Took quite a beating, and the hole in the hull has probably doubled in size in the last couple of days. So the problem they were having with it, getting it out of the water last year, is that none of the local salvage barges were big enough to lift it out of the water in one piece. But now that it's broken in half, they might organize to try it again and lift it out one half at a time. I'm pretty sure the local barges can handle that. So that's the wrecked schooner that's been a fixture here for 15.5 months. It's a little chilly out here with that wind out of the north. It's only about 38 degrees. So I'm gonna get back in the car and head over to this grocery store. Now, time to leave the marina. And there's the old ramp over there. I don't know if you noticed, they put in a brand new ramp. And over here, they rebuilt the marina dock a little bit, just to the right of the fuel tanks. And there's going to be a couple more parking spots, which will be nice. It's been very thin for the last few years. But they did put a new ramp in. It's 20 feet longer and about 1.5 feet wider. And it feels like a super highway. So it really is quite nice. Let's see if we can get out of here. Well, I think I'm okay to go. That they've let the last car through. So I'm going to give it a shot. And yeah, I'm good. You can see they've got lots of equipment in here, and they've been putting in new water pipes, which means they've been trenching across the road and blocking off half of the road at a time. Alright, we'll be in downtown Southwest Harbor, where I did my walking tour the other day. And maybe on the way back, we'll go out to Clark Point and have a look at things out there. I might go into Hamilton to Marine to pick up some bottom paint and other things that I need to get the boat ready to go in the water. Because we're only a little over a month from when I'd like to launch the boat this year. So I got to start working on it. Here we go. As we drive through downtown Southwest Harbor, and we're finished with it. Southwest Harbor is really a very small town, has about 2,000 people. The population goes up quite a bit in the summer because there are a lot of summer homes here. And it's also popular with tourists when all the businesses open up. Right now, I think there are maybe 3 places where you can get something to eat that are open sometimes, not every day. And in the summer, there are, well, probably closer to 10 or 12. So it's really quite a difference. And there are a lot more people here every day. Now here's the other Southwest Harbor gas station. Let's see how much gas is here. It was $3.29 at the other one, $3.35 here. Gas seems to be going up. A couple of weeks ago it was $3.15. So we'll come in here, just about out of town. And we'll be up to the supermarket, well, grocery store. It isn't really quite up to the level of a supermarket, but it's okay. It has, most of the things you need. Just prices are a little higher than they are at the actual supermarkets. But today I'm not going to be buying enough to make it worthwhile to drive all the way over to Bar Harbor and back. So I'll shop here. So Southwest Food Mart. Now, here we go, back into Southwest Harbor. I am finished at the grocery store. I got my juice so that I'll be able to get through the next few days. Probably Monday, Tuesday, and I would imagine I'll be able to start eating some soft food by Wednesday. I hope. We'll see what the dentist has to say. Might tell me not to do that. As I said before, Southwest Harbor is very quiet this time of year. Let me rotate that a little there. And there's not a lot going on here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go out Clark Point Road and a little ways and have a look at the harbor. I'm going to postpone my visit to the chandlery because today is the first day of the big annual sale at Hamilton Marine, and it's liable to be a little crazy today. They usually have door prizes and things like that, so not something I want to deal with. Maybe we'll go over there next week. Runs for a week. Get the view of downtown going the other way, at least halfway through. It's a nice little town, a lot of interesting older buildings in here. Many of these buildings have been here for quite a long time, even if they have been renovated and fixed up. And we'll go down here. This is Clark Point Road, which goes out to the Coast Guard station, and if you take a side road out here, you can go over to the Claremont Hotel, which is not open now, but will be open, in a couple of months. And they had a number of power outages down here during the storm. I don't know exactly where, but there were markers for them on the power company's outage map. It was a strange outage. Usually when we lose power, we lose internet too. This time we only lost power. So I was able to keep track of what was going on online, despite the fact that the power was off. Okay, some nice homes here on Clark Point Road. The houses on the right are all waterfront, and when these waterfront homes come up for sale, the prices are typically over $1 million. And nowadays they're probably way over $1 million because there's not much for sale on the island for less than $1 million. This last storm was an easterly, and Southwest Harbor is open to the east. It was pretty rough in the harbor from what I could see on the Marina's webcam, but it doesn't look like there were any issues. There are very few boats in the harbor right now, pretty much all lobster boats. We'll go out to the town parking lot out here and take a look. A bunch of Coast Guard people walking around. They have their main facility is straight ahead, and they also have another facility behind me where they do buoy maintenance. This is one of the 3 town docks. They have a little boat ramp here, but I've never seen anybody launch a boat at this one. Okay, here we go. We'll just park here and go out and take a look at the harbor from out here today. Yeah, there's Beale's restaurant. A little quieter today than the last time I was there. Not open yet. And we'll just walk over here to the town dock and have a look at the harbor. As you can see, it's pretty empty. There's a lobster boat down there. That's at the dock that belongs to Downey's Diesel. So they're probably getting some engine work done. And up here, a little further, is the town dock right here. I'm not going to go down. The wood is probably a little slippery. And you can see 2 other lobster boats out there. But as the harbor is pretty much empty this time of year, there are no pleasure boats in. They'll start going in about a month. This is Beale's Lobster Dock, where they buy lobsters and sell fuel. And other than that, not much going on here in Southwest Harbor today. So, gonna head back. Hey, this is the Manset part of Southwest Harbor. See where there are some trees down here that took out power lines. They've cleared them off the road and off the power lines. I just took a look at the seawall part of the road, which is in the national park, so I can't film it. And it doesn't appear that any rocks came over the road in the last storm, so it doesn't look like it overwashed noticeably. So that's good. Road is still closed though, so it's at least for the time being acting as our local shore path, which is kind of nice. And as of when I left home, the Cranberry Islands, which are across the harbor on our right, were still out of power. They lost power early Thursday, and it's still out. And I don't know when they're going to get it fixed. Their power is via an underwater cable that starts right over here on in Southwest Harbor and goes underneath the Western Way. And as I said, their power has been out now for 2 days, and the power company website said it was under investigation. So I don't know if the cable was damaged on this side or maybe the other side. The issue with getting repairs to the power grid out on the Cranberry Islands is one, there aren't very many people that live there all year, so it doesn't get a very high priority. And 2, there is no power company equipment staged out there. It would just sit there most of the time. So if the power company wants to take one of their trucks out there, they have to charter a barge to take the truck across, and then they go do whatever they're going to do, and they charter the barge to come back. So it's very expensive to take a truck over there to do any repairs. Okay, I'm going to go down to the Southwest Harbor Town Dock here on the south side of the harbor and see if there was anything damaged there by this storm. The last storm tore up some of the asphalt on the boat launch ramp, which is not good because that's where we launch my boat. And then you can see some of the hills of Mount Desert Island ahead. Still some snow up higher, but as you can see down here, there's none left. I don't think there was much here, actually. The Marina has a webcam, and I looked at it a number of times during the storm, and there was not really any significant snow there, much less than an inch. Okay, you can see where stuff washed up here. A lot of seaweed. We'll come up to the town dock right here. And see what it looks like. Go through the parking lot here. Doesn't look like there was any damage. It was rough in here, but nothing that doesn't happen several times a year, so I doubt that there was any additional damage to the dock. But as I said, we'll roll over there and take a look. The January storms prompted them to close the town dock so that nobody could go out on it, and I can see they still have it closed, and you can see some torn up asphalt there, but they have not opened the town dock to the public again. I don't know why. And there are quite a few people over here, and it looks like Peter Trout's restaurant there is relatively busy. So, well, one of the very few places that stays open all winter around here. In the 25 years that I have lived here, where Peter Trout's restaurant is back there has had, 4 or 5 incarnations as different restaurants, owned by different people too. When I first moved here, it was the XYZ Mexican restaurant, and there have been 2 or 3 other places, and then for about the last 2 or 3 years it's been Peter Trout's. It looks like the road got undercut a little bit here. Yeah, waves washed out a little bit of the beach. And we'll head back up and over to Bass Harbor. Okay, so that's a quick look at a little bit of Southwest Harbor today, April 6, 2024.